we are going to look at some of the things that teachers do that contributes to students' exams failure. You will agree with me that just as students make mistakes during examinations and even before it, teachers also contribute to the success or failure of their candidates. Let's go ahead to identify some of the mistakes that teachers do that can contribute to students' failure, so as to help teachers and students alike to do the right things to make sure that students obtain the right grades they deserve. One of the mistakes that teachers can do, which would contribute to students failing their exams, is the failure on the part of teachers to teach topics into details. When teachers are in a hurry to complete the syllabus, they are tempted to just brush over the surfaces of topics. What this means is that should a student who has been taught by this teacher go into the exams only to find questions beyond what the teacher has taught as far as a topic is concerned, then that candidate is going to be stressed and will not be able to deliver the right answers in the way it is required of them per the examination. Hence, it is better for teachers to teach the topics they are dealing with properly and to their end, rather than just rushing through so as to complete the syllabus. Completing the syllabus does not necessarily mean the student will pass the exams, but teaching the topics you are supposed to teach into details and complete them very well can also help students do well in such examinations. Another thing that can contribute to the failure of students, which can be attributed to teachers, is where the teacher fails to teach a greater number of the topics. Very often, each exams would have between 30% and 40% of the entire syllabus being examined. This means that if a subject has 10 topics, a student is likely to be examined on between 3 to 4 of the topics in that subject. If a teacher fails to teach a greater number of these topics, then should exam questions be set on the other topics, the student will not be able to answer. This means that the candidate would be shortchanged or would have the inability to attempt some of the questions, all because he or she has not been taught. You cannot prepare for examination or teach students to prepare for examination by teaching them less than half of the topics they are required to learn. And so teachers should put or map up strategies that would help them teach a major or a greater section of the topics, so that indirectly the candidate would be ready for the exams. This way, the high possibility of students doing well can be achieved. Sometimes teachers contribute to the failure of students through the kind of comments they pass. The truth of the matter is 99% of teachers, or nearly 100% of teachers, want their students to perform well in the examination. However, frustrations from home, frustration in the classroom, can make or compel a teacher who is working hard to help his or her students to excel to pass demotivating statements or make demotivating comments. Demotivating comments by teachers can demoralize candidates. Hence, teachers should work on their emotional intelligence and stay calm when students are misbehaving, and use that opportunity to rather caution them and encourage them to put in their best. This will wake students up for them to realize that you as a teacher, you are interested in their success, and very often students will begin to cooperate. But when you pass demotivating comments like you will not pass this exam, you will fail this exam, you are not serious, and so I don't see you passing the exams, Such comments do not help students, especially when you as a teacher, you are already contributing your best effort towards their performance. Then the best thing you can do for these students is to encourage them to pass comments that would encourage students to keep studying harder and better for the exams. This way, the students can do well instead of passing the demotivating statements that go a long way to affect the psyche of your candidates. Teachers are supposed to be the wells of knowledge. That is to say that they are supposed to know nearly everything. But the truth of the matter is, teachers don't know it all. They also need to study or to learn whatever they are supposed to teach to be able to impact the knowledge onto their students. Unfortunately, there are some teachers who may lack the needed understanding, the in-depth understanding of a given topic, and may not even attempt to look for information from their colleagues, look for information from probably the internet or from other books, so as to understand the concepts very well. The truth is, once you understand a concept very well, as a teacher, you are able to teach this to your candidates or your students. Hence, where teachers do not have the needed full knowledge of a given topic, what it means is that they are going to teach the student just what they know about the topic and leave the rest. In the end, if the student enters the exams hall and questions are posed to the candidate from areas that the teacher failed to teach or to explain very well, what it means is that the student will also likely explain things the way the teacher did. And if it is not the best, the results will surely not be the best. So we encourage teachers to keep researching, find new methods of teaching the same thing, find in-depth information about the topics, and teach their students or candidates so that they can get ready for the examination. Of what use is it if a teacher teaches all the topics and the student know all the concepts, but the candidate does not know how to answer questions as far as such topics are concerned? One of the mistakes that teachers make is their failure to teach candidates how to attempt questions or specific questions, or how to answer questions. How to answer questions is a skill that needs to be learned or acquired. If a teacher spends time teaching students the concepts for each topic, it will be better that the teacher adds the ability or the skill of answering questions to that concept, so that candidates can express themselves in writing answers the way it is expected of them by the examiners. If this is not done, the candidate may be in the exams hall, have all the facts at hand, but fail to write answers in the form or format that the examiner expects them to put them. At the end, the student would probably not do well in such an exams. And so, teaching all the facts is not enough, but adding the knowledge or skills used to answer questions and helping students to understand the key terms that are often used for each subject and what students are required to write would go a long way to help candidates perform well and make their teachers very proud. In every class, or whenever teachers are preparing their candidates for examinations, it is important that teachers challenge their candidates. There are several ways you can challenge your candidates. It could be through assessing them frequently by giving them tougher questions than they expect to answer, by giving them reading assignments, by giving them homeworks that require students to do more or extra work to answer these questions. What these things do to students is that it challenges them to read, it challenges them to learn, it challenges them to push themselves an extra mile or inch than they would have done. Teachers who challenge their candidates and motivate them would always get the best out of their candidates. But if you don't challenge your students with, let's say, an impromptu or unannounced quizzes, then your students will go to sleep. But once you keep challenging them and setting unannounced quizzes, what it does is that it pushes candidates to start preparing or reading ahead of the next class because they know anything can happen. This way, you keep your learners on their toes and you keep pushing them and motivating them to learn and to study towards examination. We hope that the information in this video will go a long way to help teachers and students to do well in their exams. You may be a teacher who is already doing all that we have discussed in this video. If that is the case, thumbs up to you. However, if you are one of those teachers who is not using all the tips that has been shared to deal with student failure, this is the time to start implementing, if not all of them, some of them that will be useful to help your class and your candidates do well in their next exams. Thanks for watching Ghana Education News. Click on the subscription button so that the next video we upload, you will get notification for that. Until then,